First of all, I want to say Alhamdulillah, God gave me everything. Alhamdulillah. I know you got this, they don't like this. Alhamdulillah. Tomorrow night, I'm gonna smash your boy, guys. I'm gonna smash your boy. And
when I was on the pilgrimage, I had close contact with Muslims whose skin would in America be classified as white, and with Muslims who themselves would be classified as white in America. But these particular Muslims didn't call themselves white. They looked upon themselves as human beings, as part of the human family, and therefore they looked upon all other segments of the human family as part of that same family. Now, they had a different look or a different air or a different attitude than that which is reflected in the attitude of the man in America who calls himself white. So I said that if Islam had done that for them, perhaps if the white man in America would study Islam, perhaps it could do the same thing for him.
The President of South Africa, Jacob Zuma, has flown to Moscow to celebrate 70 years since the victory over fascism. President Zuma, thank you for speaking to RT. Why was it important for you to attend?
Well, firstly, I was invited by President Putin, but also I thought it was an important occasion for me to come. The 70 years of victory over fascism is an important period, I think, in humanity. Taking into account the devastation that was done by the Second World War. But secondly, at times people have got short memories. They might be forgetting that we came from a very serious situation which led to many deaths. And therefore I thought it was important, particularly because the Russians suffered a great deal, but secondly, the turning point for the defeat of fascism was done by the Russians in the main. And therefore it was absolutely important, but also given the history of Russia and South Africa, particularly during the struggle. And this to me was very important to honor the invitation so that one can, in a sense, participate in this important remembrance of what happened to the Russian people, to the world generally.
South Africa has been through an extremely painful history with apartheid, 70 years after the defeat of fascism with its similar policies of discrimination. How concerned are you by the revival of fascism from Ukraine to the West to South Africa itself?
But that's part of the problem. That's part of what I'm saying, that people have short memories. For an example, it's just 21 years that we defeated apartheid, but you can feel that some people are beginning to forget it. So it is important to keep on reminding people where we come from. Always it's important. And if you take some pockets of some extremism that are beginning globally to emerge, it indicates that people have short memories. I don't think anyone would want us to go back to that kind of Hitler era. So it is just important, and also we admire Russians. They're very patriotic, very nationalistic in a correct way, and very much themselves. And I think the manner in which they celebrated this one, I think, indicates that Russia is still the Russia. Goes.
I would like to get back really shortly to what we were saying about the colonization of Africa by Europe. There is also widespread belief that Europe, because it colonized Africa completely, like you said, at some point they just left Africa with disease and ruined economies, and they're morally indebted towards Africa, not only economically. Do you believe that also? Is Europe
of course,
indebted?
Yes, they messed up Africa. not just they're indebted, they actually messed up Africa. They should have corrected their mistakes if they thought they committed some mistakes. In other countries, they did nothing. They did not development. But in the majority of cases, they sucked the wealth of that continent into their countries and made their countries rich and did not develop Africa. That's the reality. If things were equal, they would have said, look, let us do something to help these free Africans now to develop. They just abandoned Africa.
But what about China? Because everyone knows that China has a large appetite for African resources at this point. How do you make sure that they don't become the new colonialists of the 21st century?
They can't be. They can't be. China is not colonizing anyone. Europe held a conference to discuss how to colonize Africa, took a resolution collectively. China has not done so. They came to Africa not to do business. They came to Africa to colonize. That was their mission. China's mission is different. They're coming to do business in Africa. And I know that many people ask that question. China is doing business in Africa. I think it's going to depend on how Africa does business with China. That's the main thing. But you cannot equate the two. I think it's a wrong equation to say China is now coming to colonize Africa. Not at all. China has come to develop. It has brought better development in a short space of time than what the colonialists did in decades, if not centuries.
Inevitably, students would challenge Ali on his stand and his convictions. Remarkably, Ali more than held his own against students who had a far better formal education than he.
I'm saying you talking about me about some draft, and all of you white boys are breaking your neck to get to Switzerland and Canada and London. I'm not going to help nobody get something my Negroes don't have. If I'm going to die, I'll die now, right here fighting you. If I'm going to die, you my enemy. My enemy is the white people, not Viet Congs or Chinese or Japanese. You my opposer when I want freedom. You my opposer when I want justice. You my opposer when I want equality. You won't even stand up for me in America for my religious beliefs, and you want me to go somewhere and fight, but you won't even stand up for me here at home.
The Soviet Union was a huge help in the war. We have a lot of respect for Russian equipment and Russian experts. Your equipment was better than what the Americans had. That's why we were able to win.
And continues. Not so terribly unusual. A lot of Westerners have paid a call on Mr. Brezhnev in the years since that communist leader took over the reins in Russia. What is unique is that at that point, Muhammad Ali was at a loss for words. Why were you so seemingly in awe of Leonid Brezhnev? What kind of a man caused that reaction in Muhammad Ali?
Well, he's, I would think when you're in the Soviet Union and in a place such as the presence of Mr. Brezhnev, it's not too good to be cocky.
There are millions of people there who evidently do know who Muhammad Ali is. I guess that means you are perhaps the most famous man in the world, is that?
Well, I don't care too much for that. But one thing I found that keeps a Cold War going and trouble between the two people is each side lying on each other. I'm sure you have Russians watching this show right now, just like you have Americans all over Russia. And I think somebody should tell the truth sometime. I've never saw 100 nationalities getting along in no more peace and doing no better than these people are. As far as what they believe and what they worship, that's their business. But truth is truth. I saw nothing but peace and tranquility, and I think that this should be promoted more. And these people don't want nothing but peace. They don't want no trouble. They don't have no violence in the streets and among the peoples. The leader there, Mr. Brezhnev, was a peaceful, humble man.
Muhammad Ali, diplomat. One of the most controversial figures of the 60s, had become a respected, even revered citizen of the world.
war, even if the wealth of America was given to me for taking the step. The wealth of America and the friendship of all of the people who support the war, this will still be nothing if I am not content internally and if I'm not in accord with the will of Almighty Allah.